Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Like the law.
Okay, I'm doing my analytical. Which one's it show? Oh, it's showing. It's not okay. It's not doing. Oh, you okay? That's right. I gotta keep things okay. Welcome everyone. This is critical analytics. Today, our subject is racism. Now, we plan this to have a daily, a weekly, maybe half an hour to hour open session. If you're viewing, if you'd like to make a comment, we'll send you a link and you can join if you wish. Totally your prerogative. So let's begin. Let's hold on a second here. How do I do this? Okay. Let's see. Switch. Okay. 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 Today they're all up in arms about this sister who went to the Olympics, won I believe, a gold medal, and she turned her back on the flag. And they're really upset about that. She shouldn't be doing that. Should be disrespecting the flag. Shouldn't be turning back on the country and all this stuff. See, they got perfect analytical ability when it comes to somebody stepping on their toes. But when they step on other people's toes, right? Oh, your toes just got in the way, or don't worry about that. Just a little accident. But stepping their toes is nuclear war. See,
Right.
now that sister, right? She had every right to do that because, see, if they got all these problems about critical race theory, which is not theory, which they've been teaching our children for the last 40 years and teaching us, they should thought about that when they brought us over here. Should thought about all that before they brought us over here. See, they bring us over here and then blame us for being here. They could say, go back to Africa. Well, we wouldn't have been here if you had brought us here. We didn't ask you to come here. We
Exactly.
didn't come over here on a visa. You see? So these people are just sick. And the problem is they can't stand to smell their own shit. Because all this crap is their making. They're going, oh man, don't show me no mirrors. They say, oh, race, okay. Let's look at racism. They're telling us now that we're supposed to be grateful that they're making progress, or the progress been made. That statement right there, right, takes and it's a statement against them. Just think
Exactly.
about it.
Why you making progress?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you make progress, it means you ain't there yet. That means you're still saying it's an indictment against them. That means you're still saying you're racist
Exactly.
because you're making progress from what? So you admitting that you're still a racist because you're making progress, right? I'm okay. I'm on the way to New York. I'm making progress. That means you ain't got there yet,
Right. It's not complete.
right? So that means you're still a racist. Oh, well, we ain't raping you as much as we used to. You should be grateful and be patient because until we decide to stop doing it. That's what they're telling us. See, but they think we too dumb to understand what they're saying. See? And most of us are, because we buy it. See, but they dumbed us down. We are naturally dumb, but they made us dumb. They cripple our minds with this Christianity and everything. Racism. One guy said, well, can you define what racism is? See, they got all this nonsense. They think they can talk their way out of it. They ain't talking their way out of this. See, Now I know that sister, her background, whatever, right? But why? Why should people fight for a country that's racist? Why? Well, why would they? That's a good question. Why should we fight for you? You see, like I said, they got a whole different way. It's like, when somebody owe you money, boy, your your logic is 100%. But when you owe them money, oh man, all of a sudden nothing makes sense anymore. See,
Exactly. The story changed.
exactly. See, so and that's the story. All they got all this stuff, critical race theory, and that's dividing the country. Dividing the country? Who divided the damn country? You've been doing it for 40 years. So how are we dividing the country? See? So you got all these statements, all this BS you're saying, and all of this is just BS. See? Because, well, America's not a racist country. Well, where's racism? Right? I mean, when America came, when Europeans were fleeing Europe, what was they fleeing Europe for? They tell you, for persecution. They tell you that. Even if you're going to school, the pilgrims, they came for the religious persecution. They said they fled for persecution. The Irish said they fled because there was a famine, right? Nothing would grow. See, everybody got, but the bottom line is they fled from tyranny, right? Because they said in the kingdom they was tyrannical. I mean, they told people doing everything. They wanted freedom. The tyranny, disease, right? Um, uh, economic failure, poverty. See, they fled from all those things, and they bought it all over the world because they didn't find it any place they went. They bought it. See? And they said, well, capitalism. We're gonna run around. We're gonna focus a minute, but we're gonna cover a couple of subjects, right? We're talking about critical analytics. Oh man, socialism, Marxism, it's killed millions of people, right? And all over the world. What the hell do you think capitalism did? It wasn't Marxism when they was driving us over here and raping us and everything else. Who was the capitalists that did that? It was capitalists that took America and killed all the Native Americans. It was capitalists that took Australia and killed all those people over there and raped them and murdered them. You know, so you're going to tell me, if you're going to compare Marxism and capitalism, because I ain't for either one of them, right? And they're the race, right? Once you shoot the gun, the capitalists they made 4 laps before the Marxists even got to the turn. And you're going to talk about Marx is so bad. Capitalism is racist from the beginning because this whole idea is profit. And profit by definition means exploitation. Because if you pay someone what they worth, you ain't gonna make no profit off of them. But if you pay them less than what they worth, you make a profit. And if you can give them work for nothing, which is slavery, you make the maximum profit. So it wasn't Marxism that put us in wars over here on ships. It wasn't communism, right? It wasn't any kind of ism. Only this was capitalism. So, oh man, capitalism lift the world out of poverty. Capitalism impoverished the world. We was the richest continent on the planet. See, people don't understand this. I don't know if people heard of Rhodes Scholar. See, all you out there, if you're listening, Rhodes Scholar, you know what it is? Because oh man, Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. But do you know what Rhodes Scholar is? See, because as long as you're sitting around there, you understand, as long as you're sitting around there watching NFL, NBA, no, you ain't gonna never know what Rhodes Scholar is. Rhodes Scholar was made from Cecil Rhodes. You might as well be a Adolf Hitler scholar. Because Cecil Rhodes went in South Africa. He went to South Africa, he saw diamonds all over the beaches. Diamonds. You had to dig them up. They were all over the beaches. See? It blew his mind. Next thing you know, he brought his boys in. And then you know the story about how happened in South Africa. Cecil Rhodes did that. He took everything, exploited the people, enslaved the people, and everything else. Cecil Rhodes did that. And so now he set up a thing called a scholarship. So I'm gonna be a Rhodes Scholar. You got Negroes gonna be a Rhodes Scholar too. See? You might as well say, well, I want to be an Adolf Hitler scholar. See? Because they don't know who Cecil Rhodes is. They don't know who a lot of these people that they celebrate, they think They know, just like Mahatma Gandhi. They tell us, oh, he was such a great man, right? You take time to Google Mahatma Gandhi. He was down in South Africa, right? He was a prosecutor, whatever, persecuting black folks down south. He didn't care. He was a racist. He didn't care about black folks. He was part of the apartheid movement down there. Then he came back to India, and he says he wanted to get the British out, but he cared about black folks. He was a Brahmin. Look at what a
Exactly.
Brahmin is. They hate black people.
Ain't that the same? Ain't that the same thing that the vice president is?
Yeah, she's a Brahmin. And she hide that. You don't want to be black and go over to India. How many black folks you see go to India? You see them go to places else, go to India. You see Africans going to India, right? Because they treat their own black people, and they treat their own black folks, the dark ones. How many dark skinned used to come over here? You don't see very many, right? I don't know how they get out of here, but the ones come over, you see some darker than Africans, right? But over, they call untouchables. See? And I met one when I was working up in Tallahassee years ago, right? And he was a cube behind mine. And some guy came over and started talking one time, and I was about India, and he heard me speaking about India because I knew a lot about the culture. So he was curious because I'm probably a nigga, I probably not know anything, right? He said, "How you know somebody about Indian culture?" He was a Brahmin. So we started talking. So we started a conversation. So I mean, we wasn't friendly, but he would talk to me and stuff. He wouldn't even talk to other Indians unless they was Brahmins. I think he was the only Brahmin there. The rest of them was like they call them forward class and backward class and all those other names they give him, right? He wouldn't even talk to other ones, but he talked to me. He told me. He said that about the untouchables. He said if he walked down the street and untouchables shadow crossed him, he could kill him, and nothing gonna be said about it. That's what's going on in India right now. See, there's two groups that they persecute: the Muslim Indians and the so-called untouchables. And you can't get out of that class. You can't marry that class. Because years ago they had a thing where this one Indian woman, and she wasn't even untouchable. They was like they got the forward class and the backward. They got these different classes, and they was two different classes. And the mother and father found out that they was meet each other in secret. Both parents on both sides, both families burned them up, burned both of them up. They don't play over there.
They do it like that?
Yeah, they don't play over there. You don't jump no class. You ain't married out your class. So that's one of the reasons why they're going after the Muslims over there, the Indians that became Muslims, because they don't play the caste stuff, and then they don't want to have that's a no. That's why they had Pakistan. They had to separate. That's where Pakistan came out because they had to get the hell out of India, right? They didn't go kill them all. So Gandhi said, the only way we can solve this problem is that we separate, right? But still, you got more Muslims, more Indian Muslims in India than you got in Arabia. See, people don't know that, right? But they don't know a lot of things. But when you get this racism thing, see, they trying to squelch it. But I said, they say it by themselves. We making progress. Oh, so, and y'all need to be patient. Oh, be patient. I'm not going to rape you as much as I did yesterday. Just be patient because, I'm raping you 10% less every day, right? So if you go by that rate, right, 10 days from now, I'll stop raping you. So just be patient. I'm 10% every month. I mean, that's the logic of it. Be patient. But if you're good people, why we gotta be patient? If you're good people, why you gotta make progress? See? Why we gotta beat you, force you to do things if you're such good people? Because the evil people and they can't stand the smell of own shit. That's what's going on right now. They can't stand the smell of it. See? Because all this is true. This is your history. Oh, well, our fathers did it. Well, let's do some critical analytics on their law. Now, if your father goes out and rob a bank, your grandfather did it. Went out and robbed a bank, right? He come back, he go and buy a house and everything with his money. And you know he did this. And he get a house, you accept it. And he get busted, you going to jail too. You going to jail too, because they call it accessory after the fact. Because you're just as guilty because you accept the stolen property.
Exactly. So why not give it back?
Exactly. But you're still going to jail. I mean, right, if you accept it, once you accept it, right, then that's it. Okay, so if that's your law, then how you gonna tell me that, oh, our fathers took this country, our fathers killed all these people, our fathers did it? Well, you accept it, right? You living off of it, you're enjoying the fruits of it. So by your own law, you just as guilty as your fathers are. That's your law. That's your law. It tells you in the scriptures that you're gonna be judged by your own law. See? So you can't tell us, because if you say, oh, your fathers was guilty, what they did was wrong, right? Then pack up and go back to Europe and get the stuff back to Native Americans, right? If you say it's stolen, you still stolen land. Just pack up and go back to Europe, because you claim the reason why you became so rich and powerful because your great ideas. Okay, take your ideas back with you. We don't want them taken back with you.
Right.
If that's what made you so.
Like that, they ain't got no idea.
Yeah, but that's what they claim, right? Democracy, those are great ideas. That's what made us great. So that's what made you great. To take it back to Europe, you still be great, right? No, what made you
Exactly.
great is you stole this land, you killed off the people. The Muslims didn't do that. The Hindus didn't do that. The Buddhists didn't do that. The Christians did it. See, so you're going to tell me that this righteous God you say you believe in, this righteous Jesus, right? He was the one, right? You're saying that right? He's responsible for all this. He's down with all what you was doing to get this. Is that what you're trying
Right.
to tell me? Because if that's what you're trying to tell me, then what problem you got with Satan? What problem you could probably have with Satan? I mean, that's way Jesus rolls. Then what problem you got with Satan? That's where he rolls, right? Genocide, murder, rape, that's where he rolls. And what the hell you got a problem with Satan for? So something ain't right. Something don't add up. But see, you're not going to hear any of this. See, our people not going to hear this because they got that compiler. And if it don't proceed, every word proceed by I love Jesus, bam, they ain't hear nothing. See, and the thing is, you got to ask yourself, when somebody come and tell you something, the truth, trying to explain something to you, is your reaction emotional or is it intellectual? Is it emotional or intellectual? Because we
Mostly it's
know
emotional.
exactly, because they've been designed to react emotionally. Because if they act intellectually, they would listen and then they'll analyze it, right? And then we could have a conversation. But if it's emotional, hey man,
Right.
and that's the situation. So there's no critical analytics there. See, so in other words, you got to deal with the emotional level. You got to play some Jay-Z. See, some Beyonce. See, jump around in the church, talking tongues and all that kind of stuff. See, because that's when you go to church, they're not dealing on intellectual level. They're dealing on the emotional level. If you've been in church, and that's what they deal with on the emotional level. They got the choir, they got the preacher humming the horn, how they put a good act. The more you can make that old funny talk like they talk and everything, the more they like, oh man, he can really hum and haw. But what did he say? Not a damn thing that made any sense to anybody. Okay? So it's a whole emotional trip. They got people gripped in a whole emotional trip.
Right.
Because once they become intellectual, critical analytics, it's all over. And those of you who are, those are people that are snatched out of that, they can look back and see that. Because that's how it was moving you. See, when you go to a church, you might as well go to a rock concert. What's the
Right.
damn difference?
Yeah, they get your adrenaline up, and then once you leave out, you feel, like you feel back to reality. You know.
And can't wait to get back next Sunday, hear them jump up and down. And
Exactly.
and you go to a Baptist church, right? The sisters jumping. I mean, you think they're gonna hurt themselves? They flipping over chairs and carrying on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't know if you've been a sanctified church, boy. You don't want to go there. No. If you've been a sanctified church, oh, you think the Baptist church or something. Them sisters get down. The brothers get down too. Sanctified church, I've been to one, boy. I got scared me to death.
It is. It can be scary.
Yeah, they got the washing boards up there, and they be going and and see, but they say see depends where you go. You go to Sanctified Church, right? They believe the woman should be covered and all that kind of stuff. They got that going, right? But boy, when they get into it, you be scared. Somebody you be sitting right next to somebody jump. You be you jump up, man. So I've been to all of them, check them out. See, but when you go to Caucasian churches, they don't like that.
Yeah, they
See,
don't do none of that.
no, because they come in here to make sure those white folks understand what's going on, right? To keep your dumb ass in that church doing that stuff. Because I've been to white churches and they ain't going down like that. See, but you go to black churches, it's all about emotions. See, and the more drama, the more music, the more all that entertainment, the bigger the church is.
Right.
You see, that's where it goes. So they guys on the emotional trip. So in other words, critical analytics doesn't apply to our people because once they start using this, Christianity is host toast. Because there's no one world you can be in that using this. Because what's the definition of superstition? Believing in something that you can't prove. And that's in where Christianity is. But you call them a superstition, they get mad at you. Ain't
Yeah,
no
they're not gonna
superstition.
do that.
Yeah. So this is kind of things I want to talk about. And that sister, like I said, I'm showing the background there. They're all mad at her, okay, because she turned her back on America. Like, why should she love America? Give me. Just I'm not asking for 9 reasons. Just give me one reason why she should. Give us one reason why we should.
Well, they'll say because they freed us and gave us the privilege
Yeah, but
to
who
be
imprisoned
among.
us? Who imprisoned us? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you don't raped us. Now you stop raping, so we should be grateful to you because you stopped.
Right.
And the same thing? The same
Exactly.
thing, right? So why should we be grateful to you because you stopped? See? And that's just what I'm trying to say. So you imprisoned us, now we should be grateful because you so-called freed us. You ain't free us, we still here. We're a nation. They wouldn't tolerate that if we was controlling their nation. They say ain't nobody gonna tell America what to do, but you tell us what to do. We're a nation. We don't be part of you. That's what That's what it says in Exodus. It said, "Let my people go so they can serve their God." We're not part of you. You got your ideas, your customs, whatever it is. We're not part of that. And if we don't go along with the way you do things, then we're criminal. But that's not our nature. So they want to attack this sister, and believe me, they're gonna make her like, well, it depends, because like Biden and them, they support her. See, oh yeah, well, I know the whole story. They're not knocking her. So it's the Republicans, right? The so-called conservatives. Well, she should respect the country and everything else. And Democrats, they're kind of saying, well, so somebody's playing a game there. Because all of a sudden, when they start telling me, look, if I see a wolf come in, he sniffed around me and everything. I don't think that he's being friendly. I think he's trying to figure out where he's going to eat first. You know what I mean? And these people, I mean, we already, they'll tell us who they are. What this Bible says, can a tiger change his stripes? They already told us who they are. But our people are stuck with fear. Fear. They fear and ignorance. It's a bad combination. Fear and ignorance. Because they're afraid, there was this movie I saw, Wildlife or History Channel. I saw years ago. I never forgot. I tried to find it again. But his lion, he took down the zebra. And when he took it down, the zebra's still alive. And he's eating the zebra's butt, right? Eating it, going to work, right? And every time the
Wow.
zebra raised his head, the lion looked over at him, rah! And then the zebra laid his head back down, let me some more. That's the way our people are right now. They know they're eating you alive, right? And then if you say something, rah, then you go back and let them keep eating you alive. How do you think that's going to end? And that amazed me. I said, because he's eating you, because he's raw, right? But that's still how people in. They're doing stuff that don't make any sense because they've been disarmed. When your mind's taken away from you, because your mind's your most powerful tool. Animals, they have their strength, but we can rule by our minds. But when they take that, they disarm you. It's like taking a tiger and pulling his teeth out and pulling his fangs out. I mean, his paws, whatever. You disarm them. And they've disarmed us. And so we walk around doing like we do. And the thing is that when you come and say, they had you drinking poison water, dirty water, urinated water for years, someone come along with some pure water and it's free of charge. Where'd you get that from, man? I ain't messing with that stuff. You know? I mean, why are you giving that to me? That's our people's attitude. Because this message explains everything. It explains everything. It gets rid of all the doubts and it explains everything. And you say, here's free. Well, see? So that's the state our people are in. And so that's why I have situations like this here. Well, this sister, she's waking up to some extent. I ain't gonna sleep this way. But why was she in the Olympics all anyway? But why are we over here anyway? So in other words, since we're over here, you brought us over here, we don't want to be over here. So since we stuck over here and had nothing else to do, we supposed to just lay down and die. See? So why are you taking advantage of America? Why are you taking what America has to offer? Because
that's what many would. You
pardon?
don't want to be here. Why are you still here? Just go.
Yeah, but where are we going to? I'll be glad to go. You pay me my past dues, and, and give me my land back over there, my language, right? I'm out here overnight. If Elijah Muhammad said, we'd be out here, right? Only reason I'm here right now, personally, right? I'm trying to get my people out here. But I don't want no parts of this place. They tell us, why don't you go back to Africa? Why'd you bring us over here? See? So now you want us to go back without pay, without wages, anything. Just get the hell out of here. Go drown in the sea somewhere. Where we going? See? These people are incredible. They're sick people. They're sick people, and the sickness is so obvious, and their language is just they can't make sense. What was this word this woman said last night? I'm gonna get this. It was something. What did she say? Oh, no, this guy said on Sunday. You can't believe this. He says, "Well, my family were immigrants. They had nothing to do with this, and they was they were they didn't exactly have slaves." I said, "Wait a minute. What you mean they didn't exactly have slaves? What does that mean? Did they have slaves or didn't they? They didn't exactly. See, they got to qualify it.
Right, which one?
Yeah, because they did, but he going to see because he don't want to say because he don't want to say he didn't because somebody going to check him out, right? So they didn't exactly. What does that mean? They didn't exactly have slaves. Well, I didn't exactly rape her.
Yeah.
You see, because he had them. It's like what was that guy? That guy that he played Batman sometime.
Oh,
The Bruce Wayne.
no,
He played Batman. I can't think of his name. I think he played the last couple of times too. I can't think of his name. Anyway, he went and did a ancestry thing because he just found his parents owned slaves. He got rid of that quick. He shut that down. See, because they're all guilty. You know, my father's from Monroe, Louisiana, right? He had to run away because he had to run from home because they were trying to kill him when he was a child. But his last name was Spears. Does that register anything, anybody? Monroe, Louisiana's last name was Spears. You know anybody that fits that characteristic that you know in the news?
Say that again.
His last name was Spears, and he's from Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh, uh, not not Whitney Spears.
No, you close. You just got the wrong first letter. She's in the news big time nowadays. Britney Spears. Where's she from? Monroe, Louisiana. I got people in my family look similar to her, right? So she probably was a slave master.
Sure.
I've been thinking about looking into that and sue her family for. Yeah, you know. And then you go into my other side of the family is from Kentucky, right? Guess their last name was McConnell. Guess who was another made famous McConnell? That's a senator from Kentucky, Mitch McConnell.
Mm, that,
All those
that's where my
clowns.
daddy from.
Okay, maybe we probably cousins then. See,
My daddy from Conduca, Kentucky.
what's his last name? You same yours?
Uh, no, his last name was Gary. Gary.
Okay, that mine's Kellogg,
Gary.
Kellogg and McConnell. There's all slavers, but they want to get
Oh,
away from this thing about racism. They're all racist. They can't get away from it, right? They didn't come when they fled out of Europe. They didn't go and attack other European countries, right? They came and took from everybody else. Everywhere they went, they didn't find poverty. They didn't find disease. They didn't find tyranny. Everybody was doing well, and that's why. Look, first of all, if you go buy a mule to do some work for you, you don't go buy no crazy weak diseased mule. You want to get a healthy one. So when they come tell us we
right.
was all sick and impoverished and everything else, they wouldn't have bought us slaves if we was in that condition. We was healthy. That's why, because you
Yep.
go get the best you can
Yeah,
get.
Right.
See.
exactly.
So there's a lie, but I mean, what said to make what we expecting to do? They lie, and they're trying to get out of it. They can't afford to smell their own shit, but they're not getting out of it. So they can talk. I laugh. I sat back. My wife looked at me. I be cracking up. I said, okay, they ain't got their time is running out. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's gone. Because this year they through. Anybody can see that. They telling you they got war. You see right now they over there attacking Iran again today. And Iran already
Mm,
told them we ain't going no deal. We ain't doing anything. So and Biden just told them they ain't gonna get no nuclear weapon. It don't take a Rhodes Scholar to figure that one out where it's going. I ain't backing up and I ain't moving
no,
forward, right? You got two dudes arguing, right?
exactly.
How long before they start throwing blows?
Exactly. They said they had an election in Iran that they got a new president, and he's supposed to be in favor of the nuclear agreement.
No. He's
And
against it.
all he is,
Yeah, he's hardcore. He's more hardcore than the other
oh,
guy. He said he ain't gonna meet with Biden. He don't want to have nothing to do with Biden.
oh, that's good. That sound like a home. That sound like a ride home to me.
Yeah, exactly. No, he said, man, he's more hardcore than the other guy. And so they talking about that. They said because the guy I sent a link today, right? The guy said, with this guy, it's probably more likely they're gonna be at war.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. So Israel, soon we get that shock of the hour, then we'd be good.
Oh,
And the whole world would know what's cracking.
yeah. Well, that link I sent, I can't. This guy, he's a. At the end of it, I can't remember the name of the link. See if I can see it real quick. The link I sent, if you saw it, at the end of it, this guy, he's real pro-Israel stuff. If you look at, he's at the end of it, he says, "Yeah, but we ain't worry about nothing because God is on the throne, and He look at His people, and none of none can possibly happen in Israel." I said, "Okay, that show you because
Yeah.
All Christianity is based on one thing. It's all right now set on the fact that that's true Israel over there.
Yes, sir.
If that goes
Yes,
down,
sir.
you know about foundations, right? They pull out that
Yes, sir.
foundation. What happened to the house?
Everything fall
Crumbles.
back.
The whole world right now, the political world, everything is based on the fact that they're supposed to be true Israel over there. All American religion, Christianity, is based on that one fact that nothing can happen, right, to them. And so if that goes down, that the whole reality is we don't see we never experienced. See, the last time we experienced something like that was in Africa doing our thing. It was my own business, man. We was doing our, because we was in tribes, but we was families, right? We looked after each other and everything. And then one day we see sails off the coast. Next day it was all over.
Mm, mm,
Whole reality changed
mm,
overnight. That's 464
mm.
years ago. Just like that, all of a sudden, just that quick. And it's going to happen to them even quicker because it says it's going to happen to them within 1 year. Having them even one quicker.
That's right.
And the whole reality is going to change. See, we don't know because we've been in this garbage for, right? But the whole reality is going to change overnight because that can't happen. That cannot happen in their ideology. It just cannot happen.
Right.
See?
Right. So they think, so they feel, so they're gonna find out. And like you said, now they understand why it's a shock of the hour. It's a grievous thing because they so well enrooted in that vision that they can't move, that they can't be moved, that they just set, then because they had United States, Britain, and all backing them up with weapons in Germany, then they felt that they the top dog. But now the truth ready to let them know. Reality ready set in.
It's gonna be a monster because remember this whole world is based on that. I can't say that enough. This whole world is based on that undeniable fact. It's in their minds, and all of it's based on that. All the preaching, all the church, and everything else. And if that
Yes.
goes, that cannot. That's something that cannot happen. See, uh,
Big problem.
yeah, my OBS. Yeah, They come out tomorrow morning. I told them they either fix this thing or they take it back because I switched to providers, right? Because
Yes, sir.
for better. But now I'm getting all this Wi-Fi, right? I wasn't getting that before. I was having other issues, and now I keep, Wi-Fi keep going in and out. Anyway, see what happens tomorrow morning. But I forgot what I was even saying.
You were
Oh, you
saying
stop.
What was that? What was that?
False Israel going down.
Oh, well,
Yes, sir.
see that's impossible. That's not supposed to happen. That's like saying, like saying, um, the sun's going to go out tomorrow. That well, I mean, that would be the end of everything anyway, wouldn't it? Right? But like the moon exploding, right?
Mm.
See, that's not supposed to happen, you know? And so they can't, and that's what's about to happen. Anybody can look at this, see, in the last few years, has the temperature lowered in the Middle East at all? It's getting hotter and hotter every day. So, eventually it's got to boil.
Right.
So when that happens, but this whole, I'm getting a little off subject here, but like I said, the whole subject is about racism. Okay, got to reach my limit. I said I'm going to keep it down to 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. I'm
I
trying
don't
to,
think people understand what racism really means. They just think it means just hating a person based off their color. They
yeah.
don't think they know the true definition though.
Well, they think they had the right to define what racism is. See, White folks think has the right to define everything. Oh, they think they can tell us after they've done everything to us. They think they have the right to tell us how we should feel about it.
Come on.
See, that's what tells me how we should feel about it. See, okay, I rape you, but I think this is the way you should feel about that rape. You shouldn't think it's a rape, right? It's just a little aggressive intimacy, a little rough love.
Yeah.
See, that's what they do. So in other words, they still think we're animals because they tell us how we should do it and how we should think. They tell us that we're still animals. They still tell us that, but they don't even understand it, or maybe they do understand it. But you can tell a lot about how people think about other people, how they talk to them, how they treat them, right? Because when you talk to your dog, you don't say Mr. Rover. And you see how they talk the way they talk to us and about us, how we should feel about what they did to us. We should forgive them. We should think about it. We should be patient, right? But you good people, why we gotta be patient for you to stop being evil? I mean, if you're good, what's the patience for?
Exactly.
Like we said,
Exactly.
yeah.
We're not.
Go ahead, brother.
No, they should. If anything, they said critical race theory. They should overnight. They should make a change. They should want to give up everything, like you say, and go back to where they came from and see how that goes. But like you said, they can't do it because they had already depleted all their topsoil over in Europe, and they had to come over here and take everybody else's land, but not any European land, only everybody other than European.
Exactly. That's racism. But then again, like we was discussing earlier before you got on, I was saying they telling us that, well, we making progress. Oh, that means you're still a racist then, ain't it? Ain't that what that
Hey,
mean? That
that's
means you
it.
ain't got there yet. We making we're on the way to New York. We making progress. That means you ain't got there yet. And you're making
Exactly.
progress from what? See, if you're making progress, that means you're admitting that you wasn't no good to begin with. Because what you're
There you
making
go.
progress from, see, it's in the language. But see, they talk to us like that because they think we too stupid to understand what the hell they saying. I usually tell my children all the time, I say, you know something, you listen. See, I watch all these Sunday talk shows. I said, they be calling you nigga, they call you all kinds of stuff to your face that you don't even know what they're saying. Like the guy was saying all day, says, well, um, if it wasn't for the all that the cities being so much population in the cities, probably wouldn't be so much crime. They're saying it wasn't all those niggas in the cities, there wouldn't be no crime. That's what they're saying, because who in the cities? That's us. They out in the
Exactly.
suburbs.
Exactly.
But they think they're so slick that they can talk, and and they think they can talk, and they think they're so smart that they can talk, and we don't understand what they're saying. I understand what they're saying.
Exactly. See, we read in between the lines. Because, like you said, we know who live in the inner city. We
It's,
know who flocked and ran to the suburbs. So, they just, like you said, they said in between, trying to do in between, but they still think we still ignorant and dumb and can't reasoning.
but most of us prove that anyway, right? Because if you black and you part Democratic Party, boy, you got to be out of it.
Come on, come on, come on.
How can you miss that one? Every policy they got, and I'm gonna close out in a minute. 'Cause I said we try to keep it down to half an hour, 45 minutes. But every policy they got is like we're talking about critical analytics right here. All you got to do is ask one question: what is the base of a democracy? It's the majority rule. Isn't that the foundation of it?
Yes, sir.
Majority rule, right? So if you
Right.
want to be the most powerful, you want to be the majority, you have to make sure the minority stays a minority.
Exactly.
So how do you do that? You make sure they don't have no population. So how do you do that, right? You do everything they can, birth control, abortion, all those programs. That's the programs you would have. That's the way you declare warfare on on your opponents in democracy. That's simple. So, but all the and whose policy those policies? Whose policy? Those are democratic policies. Every one of them. Sending jobs overseas, so now I can't afford babies.
Exactly.
See? Then okay, then I got to go out and I got to fight, go out and steal and everything to make money. So that means you're in prison. You're in prison for what? 3-strike law. So that you ain't never coming out. Cause when you do come out, you ain't making no babies.
Right. That's my nephews. Went in when they was 18, didn't get out until they was 42 and 43.
By that
Over
time,
accessory of this, an accessory of that. Nothing concrete.
and by that time, you probably forgot how to make babies anyway. You probably don't even want to make
Okay.
none.
Damn.
What they be doing to you up in there?
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of them come out with AIDS anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is all these democratic policies, all these democratic policies. So how in the hell could you back that? But if you talk to a black person in the Democratic Party, they go emotional right away. You know, I got in a fight. I almost got in a fight for him. I had a neighbor who was getting along pretty fine, and then his election came up, and he asked me a question. Man, when you gonna vote? Man, I know you. I said, man, I ain't vote for Biden. What's wrong with it? Man, he went off. I said, hey, you brought the subject up. Needless to say, he got blocked. I don't never talk to that fool no more ever, right? Because he went off like that, right? You brought the
Yeah,
subject up. I knew better than to even talk to him. See, and you can't ask no question. They don't do it. They're emotional. But it's how in the world can you support? Because that. I mean, that's common sense right there. If you, how in the hell you gonna say that you want to have power in a Democratic Party, Democratic country, and you stop by Planned Parenthood that brought your child on the way to making a vote?
damn,
How does that make any damn sense?
damn.
If you want
Don't.
power, you want population. If those 22
Exactly.
million black folks they had aborted, and they would have had children. You know how many black folks be in the United States right now? Probably over 100 million,
Yes, sir.
because they would have had babies too. So they can't see it. Oh, because you pat you on your back, right? Oh, I'm good. Because that's all you want. As long as they pat you on the back, right? I'm good. I told this one brother, he's a Marine, he talk all this stuff, everything. I said, you know something? I was in the military, I was in Vietnam. And if this cracker say, hey nigga, get down and save my life, I'm gonna get mad at him because he called me that name. I ain't interested. I'm interested in the policy. I ain't interested in all the other BS, right? See, the other
Yeah,
guy said he's nice, but he don't say that. I get my head blown off. I don't care about what he said. I'm talking what he does. See, we get all wrapped up in what they say, like Clinton, or talk all that nice talk, but in the meantime they stick us in the back, right?
exactly.
You go buy a used car salesman, man, he clean. He got his clone on and everything else, right? And you don't realize what happened till you get off the lot. You try to bring that car back. Then you see what you really got dealing with.
Yes.
See, so that's the situation we're in. So I thought I would just talk about a little racism a little bit, because I mean you can talk about a lot, but our people. That's why we have to be beacons, because when it hits them, they're gonna be in shock.
Yes,
Our
sir.
people come in shock. When they come in shock because their whole reality is shook up too, and they're gonna be trying to
Exactly.
figure out what's going on. See, but now they're in the right between the hot and right place because people they love that they was loving so much is gonna attack them,
Mm,
and they're gonna be looking for some help. So guess where they're running?
mm.
See, they're gonna be when it says why would it tell us that the shock of the hour is a grievous thing? Why would it tell us that? Why would it tell us the time of unprecedented trouble? Why would it tell us to run like hell when you see that? Just run, leave your baby behind. Why? They're trying to get us ready for what's about to happen. That means there ain't gonna be no joke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Serious time. Don't go home. Don't go get your coat. Don't go back and pick up nothing.
Don't
Run
even
to the
wipe your
house.
behind. If you're in a toilet, don't even wipe your behind. Just run. That's how serious. That's what they're telling you. right? If you're in a toilet, man, don't you grab your clothes, just run naked, just go. Ain't that what they telling
Damn.
you?
Yeah.
That's how serious it's going to be. And they're not saying that for no reason because these people already. I'm gonna leave it here, but if y'all watch that video, I think I sent that video I sent last night about True News. They said that this vaccine that they giving people, they said it was on the shelf in 2019, December 2019. They said it was on the shelf already.
Wow.
I'm gonna send it back again if y'all haven't got it.
No, I don't think I got that one.
Right. Okay. It's True News. They were saying they did research. When okay, I keep being disconnected. They got to come fix this. But they said that they had the vaccine on the shelf already. They said the shit was coming out gradually, more gradually every time, right? And they also saying that when the guy that sponsors thing, he said when he was in the hospital, he just got he said he's not taking no vaccine or anything. He said he just went down. He was out for a week because he caught it, right? He said his whole staff course like went off. Everybody got it at the same time. So he said somebody came in and sabotaged him. He said it was near death. But he said when he was in the hospital, he said, no, he told him? He said nurse told him he was the only one in the hospital that was sick with COVID that wasn't vaccinated. He said everybody else in there
Right.
they had been vaccinated, still got it.
Yes, yes, I seen that. Yeah, the old dude. The
Yeah.
old dude said he was the nurse told him he was the only one
Yep.
that was everybody else was vaccinated and still was in the hospital sick.
And still got
And
it,
he was
right?
the only one that wasn't
Yeah.
vaccinated
Yep.
out of the whole ward.
Mhm. Okay. When it says
Yeah.
these people, they lying it to their teeth, right? And our people ain't gonna. The only thing is that's why Fry's there says, "He who guards his will needs to sleep asunder." Fry can't sleep asunder because he dozed off. We dead.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm trying to tell
And,
you. Because these people are serious. They want to get rid of like that in the blink of an eye. That's why it says run because they wouldn't be doing it if they had already plans already. They already got a plan. So if that happens,
and
it says when you see it happen, first of all, you got to be able to know where it is. We know where it is. See, before that, you know nobody. Go ask these people. Go ask the people in church. I guarantee you won't find anybody that know what that is. Abomination of desolation. I guarantee you. I guarantee the first Friday, they probably know what the term is. Nobody knows what that is. You know where it is, and
yes,
you know
sir.
what to look for. They don't. See, so they're gonna be totally confused, and you're gonna be the beacon to tell them, right, what to do, because they're gonna be totally confused and they're gonna be under fire.
Mm, mm, mm.
See,
Damn.
that's how important our job is. And you're gonna be in front of it a couple more days. That's why people say, like it says, when it says run, remember, I mean that's serious stuff. If you're on a toilet, hey, you just jump off and run. That's how bad it's gonna be because they're coming. And the only thing that's gonna slow them down, right, those African brothers, because they're gonna be after them too. Everything black. They have to get to them to get to us, because they're gonna fight back. We too stupid. We probably still trying to figure out, oh, what's going on? Something wrong, man. It's Biden. What happened? That's where we in.
Yeah.
Democrat, come on, Kamala, what's going on? These African brothers, they said they're gonna know is it immediately because they're gonna come after anything black, and that's gonna slow them down just enough for us to get together. Well, we got terrible times coming. So anyway, but we know who these people are. Our people don't know. So that's why we're talking about racism. So hopefully, right, somebody heard something. Okay, brothers, I appreciate you coming on. I think y'all worked the bugs out on that, brother David.
We're still working on it.
Okay, okay. You know what's going on here, brother, right, brother Kevin? This is we're trying to do this daily critical analytic about current events. Cause we started talking about that sister
Yes, sir.
in the Olympics. You heard about that, right? She turned back on the flag.
No, sir.
Oh, that's the big
She did
thing.
what?
That's what we started about. Do you see my picture there? You
Yes,
see
sir.
me? You see a sister in the background? Can you see it's clear enough?
Yeah, I see her arm and her flag. She got a flag wrapped around her.
No, no. I'm in the way. Can you see it now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, she won.
I see her
She
one.
won the medal at the Olympics, but she turned her back on the flag.
Oh, that's right.
That's the big news. That's why I'm talking.
She.
We're talking about that. That's the big news today. And they condemned her, said she
Oh,
should
they
be
were.
doing that.
Oh, so they was mad because she turned her back on the flag.
Yeah, that's our subject. That's where we start out. Yes. Black folks starting to wake up. I said once we get that vision, they're all over. And she got the whole
Yes, sir.
all of America. They can talk about that now. Critical race theory and that.
That's good.
I told you it gets worse every day. Every time you look around, it gets worse. They get hotter and hotter and hotter. Pretty soon you're gonna turn on the news and you're gonna see heads exploding. Boom, boom, boom.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what
Yeah.
I want to. That's what I want to flick it on right
Mhm. Yeah.
quick.
She won that thing where you spin like a rock, a stone around like and throw it.
Yes, sir.
You put like a big thing on the string on a rope and spin around.
Oh, yes. Uh huh.
Yeah, she's hard. She's a hardcore sister. She's tough, right? But she turned her back on the flag, and they say, "Oh man, you can't be doing that, man. That's our country." That's why I said we talk about that. We try to cover it. The whole purpose is to try to pick out an event, the current event, and try to bring all, bring into focus and bring Angel information, show how it explains it. So this is just a
Yes,
test
sir.
run. This I think this is one of my most successful ones so far. So once we get it going, then anyone can pick it up. So if you want to, but we got to set you up. We took a while to get our brother David and brother Fatima, sister Fatima set up. So that's for anyone that's want to sponsor it every day or just get in like you got in today, fine. And we open it up to any people that want to get involved. But that's one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to check to see if anybody was commenting to send me anything. So I didn't get a chance. Oh, do that. Hold
Oh,
on.
you got some.
No. Hold on. What happened? What did I do? Nope, I got it wrong. Let me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. No, if anybody wants to get in, because this is live. We're live right now.
Oh, yes, sir.
We're YouTube live. So anybody wants to, comment something, we send them a link and they can get on with us. Okay.
That's right.
So I forgot to check
I'm
on
gonna
that.
start.
So, what's that, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start looking for you. I was out here working, but I caught a break, so I turned on and I seen you on there. So I'm gonna have to start looking for you.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is open. If anybody, there's no obligation,
I seen
but we're just trying to
yes, sir.
leave it open so if anybody that's on it, YouTube watching it live, they can come in like a regular radio show. They can come in and say, you know, they're interested, and then we send them a link, and they can come on and they can say their piece, as long as it's a lot of BS.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, anything else,
I see.
brothers? Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, oh, that's it. I seen Sister Nicolette's video. That was powerful. That was powerful. She brought out them videos, and them videos I heard, but I never knew that where they was, and she brought them out. That was pretty powerful video right there.
Oh, that one on Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He tells
That
them he
was
hypocrite, and they still listen to him. He tell them.
yeah. I seen him this morning saying some things. They like, hey, well, he's the only leader we got that stands up. And I wanted to answer it, but I figured I bet not, because I'd have started some stuff. And plus, I was ready to get on the freeway, so I figured I bet not. But we so blind and ignorant that we just accept it regardless. Other words, what he's saying, we don't care what he did. He's the only leader we got.
What they got.
But yeah, exactly. See, that's the only leader that they got that ain't doing nothing. And like I said, I was in on it too until I started recognizing it. But I never said nothing because I didn't want to be the man up against the block wall, against Goliath. That's basically what it is. But now, like I said, once I heard you, um, and then it all came out. And so that's why, like you say, we got to keep on pushing that program because there's others there who are listening and waiting for that opportunity to step out and step away. They just need some examples.
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, it was true for a while. I mean, he was about the only thing they had to work with, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, otherwise you got Silas. I don't know.
Yes,
He's
sir.
probably just as bad. So, but then once they hear the truth, that's a whole different situation. Because, like we were saying, and I'm really going to get off here in a second, but I'm saying the thing is that the angel is explaining everything. Explaining everything. It's not like it's not like these guys they guessing stuff. I mean, explains everything. So, and they never had anything like that before. Explains everything, and it don't cost them anything. You've been drinking
Exactly.
urinated water for 400 years, and it's got feces and everything in it. Then somebody come along and get here's a clean glass of water. Don't cost you anything. Where you get that from?
Come on. Come on. Yeah, and
It's,
they scared of it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's free, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's the attitude we have. Because don't cost me anything.
Yes, sir.
But,
Yes, sir.
but anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, uh, the devil gonna make his bad move. He's gonna attack our people. That's the worst mistake he could ever make.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because everything they do backfires. That's the worst mistake he can make. He's gonna make attack our people, and that's gonna bring us in.
All praises to Allah.
Exactly.
Damn.
See, so he gonna make his mistake, right? So when he does that, and some people gonna take some of us away, but it says Allah loves not the aggressor, so they made their final aggression.
Mm, mm.
So anyway, I'm gonna close with this. Anybody know about Viking history?
About who?
Viking, the Vikings.
The Vikings,
Y'all never heard
the
of
one that was
Vikings?
going out
Yeah,
conquering.
yeah. They was like the Vikings. Uh, they was like they call them the Vikings, right? And you see
Yes,
some
sir.
of that in some of these movies, but they were um, they were like sailors. They were Vikings. They go out and terrorize everybody and everything. But their
Yes,
religion,
sir.
all those religions, was actually religions. They weren't right now. You call them a fake and superstitions. That was religions. The Romans, that was religion they had. That's what we do. But they destroyed it. Those are books they had. The Quran tells you every nation had a guidance. They distorted it. Now, if you study the Viking religion, it's a very, it's very, it's very interesting. They believe that they believe they killed the Titans, which was us. And they slew them, but they said it was going to rise in the end. There was going to be this great war against them and the Titans. They was going to lose. That was their religion. They was going to lose this battle, but they was going to go down fighting, and that was get them into Valhalla. Now you know what Valhalla is? It means the halls
No,
of
sir.
Allah. Valhalla, the hall of Allah.
Uh,
People don't pay attention to this stuff, but they believe they was going to lose that battle in the end. That's their religion. They believe, but they figured they would get to the hall of Allah, the Valhalla. That's what they call it, Valhalla, if they went down fighting, in battle. That's their religion. Go check it out. See, all that stuff you see in what's the Avengers about Thor and all that kind of stuff. That was their religion,
yes, sir.
right? And that was a real religion to them. If you understand Thor and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm not going to it right now. I think I'll do a thing on that one time, explain it all, right? But Odin had one eye. When he was blind in one eye, right? Remember he had the patch on, but his bright one eye. That's the same thing as the
Mm-hmm.
Jao. The Jao was the same way. Remember in Sunnism, he was blind in one eye, but bright in one other eye. It's the same characters.
Wow.
See? So,
Wow.
but now they those books no longer around, so they call them superstitions. Like one day the Quran will be no longer valid. One day the Injil will be no longer valid. So now they call them superstition, because the Quran says if every nation receives his guidance, then where was their guidance then? What did they have? That was their guidance, but they distorted it, and now it's no good anymore. It's past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you might be interested in that. Valhalla, that's what it means. Valhalla. That's what they thought heaven was. The Hall of Allah.
The Hall of Allah, Valhalla.
Valhalla. You never heard that name
Wow.
before, that word before? Valhalla?
No, sir.
That's what they call the
Never heard
heaven.
it.
You can Google it. Valhalla. Valhala. I think that's the way you spell it. LAH, something like that. And that's what they call the heaven, right? And it means hall of, because Allah, that's Allah God, and Val means hall of Allah.
Mm, 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 mm.
So we're gonna talk about some of that
Yes,
stuff
sir.
one day. We can go in history because I'm a history
Yes, sir.
buff. I can go, but I can explain tell you a lot of stuff that they don't. There's a lot of stuff out there. Okay, brothers, appreciate you chiming in, and so this is one. I guess this is our groundbreaking one. So we're gonna try to have one of these every day. Try to invite people in. You know, if, anybody that's listening on YouTube, just talk about it. Today our topic was racism, and this sister, she in the news. So tomorrow we'll talk about tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Like salam.
Salam. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Dave.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, look at this. Look at that, man. Mm.